Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I am Miki and this is my YouTube channel, which is all about law, makeup, real estate, and so much more. So if that sounds interesting to you, please like and subscribe, share this video with a friend, and keep watching, okay? So, I have my cup of tea here. If you're watching Yeti, feel free to sponsor me because I personally take this around every day with my tea and all. So anyway, let me get a sip. Yes, girl. So by now you should have your own cup of tea, coffee, water, whatever it is that you're into, because this video is going to be quite interesting. So let's jump right into it. As you have seen from the title of this video is all about 5 things I wish I knew before I left law school, like things that they just don't tell you. So this video is inspired by Rushcam, and he shared some personal things that really anybody can benefit from, having an emergency fund, because a lot of people look at the legal profession like them rich, they're making a lot of money, but that's not always the case when you just complete law school. Okay, some people have it a little bit easier than others. For some the transition is pretty rough, and some don't really start making good money until 5 years in. So everybody's journey is different, and I believe that sharing our journey makes it much easier for others to just learn from, whether it is not to make the same mistakes or just to not feel alone. So share this video with a friend who is just leaving law school or just starting law school, so it might just help, you never know. So something that I realize about a lot of people, not just Jamaicans, but a lot of people tend to have this online persona where everything is all perfect, relationships are perfect, work-life balance is all easy peasy, nobody's struggling. And I'm not saying that we're in a struggle Olympics. I'm just saying, social media is not always correct, it's not always true, it's not always the proper representation of somebody's life, and that is why you should never compare yourself or your life to another person. Okay, so I know for me, my journey was definitely not easy peasy, and if I ever make it look easy, it's not easy at all, and it's just all about perseverance. Keep going, keep pushing regardless of the situation. Of course you take time out for your mental health to process things, and just to keep yourself in check. Of course, that's very important, and I just keep it moving. I just keep it moving. So yeah, graduation is supposed to be just this weekend for law school, and this video is really necessary for all stages, really. So whether you're just graduating, just starting law school, I believe this can help you just to keep things in perspective and just remind yourself. So this December is gonna make it 4 years at the bar for me. And if you've watched my videos before, you would have noted that I was a legal assistant / paralegal before I actually became an attorney at law. So if you haven't seen that video as yet, please check down below and click on that video. Make sure you watch that video about how I became a lawyer in Jamaica. So if you haven't watched that yet, feel free to just pause this video and watch it and come back, or just watch it after this video. Okay, these are the 5 things I wish I knew before I left law school. So number 1, you do not need to accept the first offer that you get. So of course, in my last video I spoke about applying for jobs early, right? And some of us just apply to every single law firm. Some senior attorneys would tell you that before internet and all of that became popular, they would literally just go through the phone book and just write to every single law firm and send out their applications physically. So yes, I understand that everybody wants to get a job right away. You want to start earning some money, because trust me, law school is not cheap. So as you finish law school, the first thing on your mind is, listen, I need to get a job. I need to start making some money. You know, your parents or family, loved ones, whoever had to spend so much money to get you to this point. You had to work so hard to maintain scholarships. Whatever your case is, you just want to get employed, right? But the thing is, you don't need to accept the first offer that you get. So this is where I tell you a bit of my personal experience. So when I applied to those law firms and, you know, companies, different securities dealers and so on, I was so excited to get a summer internship, which helped me to transition to full-time employment as a legal associate. So I went into that in my other video, so make sure you check it out. But, you know, after that, I decided that I wanted to get some feel or some experience in the courtroom as an attorney, because prior to that, I was really accompanying senior counsel as a legal assistant, you know, carrying the bundles, doing the research and all of that, which I enjoyed. But as an attorney, I had not yet practiced in the courtroom, and I was so excited. Advocacy was my favorite course of all time, and I just couldn't wait to see if I could really practice in the courtroom as I have done in my advocacy lectures and tutorials. So I just wanted to see what it would have been like. And, you know, having done mock trials and all of that, let me tell you, I really accepted the first offer that came back saying, you know, we want you to join us and you can start on Monday. I literally applied like a week or so before, and within like a week of applying, I got a response right away from that law firm. But I think it was even less than a week. But I was just so elated to, you know, get a job offer. And it was in the middle of COVID. A lot of companies were laying off and everything. So, you know, when I started in July of 2020 at that law firm, having been called to the bar in 2019 and having done previous, you know, having had previous experience at a securities dealer, I was excited now to finally get into litigation and the courtroom and all of that. So of course, the first offer that I got, I jumped on it right away and did my interview, went straight into working as a legal associate at that law firm. And trust me, I hit the ground running, did the best that I could, and things started out really well. And then about a week or two into that job, I got another offer from another entity that I'd applied to, and this was the one that I really wanted to work with, you know. And you know, I thought to myself that, well, I'm in this new job for just a week or two. I don't think it's going to look well on my part if I say, well, you know, the job that I really wanted, or this place that I applied to, you know, they finally accepted me and I'm sorry, but I want to go. I didn't know how to put it. It's not that I didn't know how to put it into words or, you know, articulate myself. It was more so how it would seem. I don't have a cat. It was more so how it would seem, you know, like, oh, I'm not dedicated, I'm not loyal to the job and blah, blah, blah. If only I knew then the things that I know now, I would have been out of there like, if you know, you know, I would have been out of there like nobody's business. And you know, it's just one of those things where you learn. And if it is that you have applied to a job, you accepted the job offer, you got the offer, you accepted the offer, and even if you've started working there, your probation is going to be for about 3 months thereabout. And if it is that you get that offer from that dream job or entity or law firm, company, whatever it is, I would implore you to take it. Just tell them that, hey, you're still on probation, so you don't have to feel tied to that company. And you know what? Always remember, these companies and law firms will replace you like yesterday, okay? I've seen employees, you know, pass away today, and you know, and by next week or even the next day, okay, you see their job posts being, you know, advertised. You see their job posts being advertised in the newspaper. So listen, it's very important to show that you're loyal. However, you have to be loyal to yourself first. Yes, you're there to learn, you're there to contribute all you can as well, But at the end of the day, you have to look out for yourself, because they're looking out for themselves too. Okay, so if you get that job offer that you really want and you're 2 weeks in like I was, get out of there, go for that job. Okay, the next thing that I wish I knew is that you can always change your mind. If you're in a job, you're working at a firm, and this is just uncomfortable for you, whether it is that you're being sexually harassed, yes, that's a thing. A lot of people kind of skirt around it, but I speak up about it all the time. These things happen, especially to young, beautiful women in Jamaica, in the workplace, and handsome men too. Yes, men and women are feeling it. So you know, it happens, and it's a real issue in Jamaica, in the workplace, not just here in Jamaica, but all over, you know, worldwide. That's why seminars on sexual harassment are so important. You know, I'm so happy that Gavin Goff hosted a seminar just the other day with the PSOJ, and they had a wonderful seminar regarding sexual harassment and, you know, things to look out for and ways to really speak up and make a complaint, you know. And we have our new sexual harassment laws, and it's very important for you to speak up about it and make the report as necessary. Okay, so you know, you can always change your mind if these things are happening to you at a law firm. You are not stuck. And a lot of times I find that not just young attorneys, but people in general, women especially mothers, tend to stick it out and stay at a job and just, you know, stay there forever. Sometimes they stay there way longer than they should. I know I have. And a lot of times it's because they feel, well, it's so hard for me to get another job, let me just stay here. Or the number one thing for me was how it would look on my resume, like, oh my gosh, she gone to this place, she gone to that place, she, you know, she quit that job, she moved on to another one, or something happened, she left that one, and you know, it's gonna look so inconsistent. And you know, a lot of people, the first questions that a lot of interviewers ask is, so why did you leave your last job, or what happened there? Or, you know, they tend to find out your history. And you know, we think that, well, if I spend only 8 months there or 1 year there, it's gonna look like I'm, you know, indecisive or, you know, can't keep a job. But the truth is, if you were experiencing sexual harassment, or you were experiencing, you know, uncomfortable situations, or you just didn't feel comfortable at the job, you don't need to stay there. You don't need to stay at that law firm, at that company, entity. You can get up and leave. You're not a tree. Okay, you're not a tree. You can get up and leave. Okay, and don't pay attention to people who, you know, like to say, well, you're not working there, you were working there. It's your life. It's your life. And regardless of you staying at a firm, especially if your ultimate goal is to be your own boss and to work for yourself, to have your own firm, your own company, really and truly, it benefits you when you get different experiences from different entities, companies, firms, you know. So you work at a firm that's excellent with personal injury, then you work at another firm which is excellent in commercial law, corporate matters. You know, it's only beneficial to you when you finally go on your own, like I have, to, you know, pull from all these experiences and, you know, have all these good precedents and things that can just help you out, experiences with clients and so on. So you don't need to tie yourself to one company forever. Of course, if it is that you have identified somewhere that, you know, you really want to work and you got an offer and you're happy working there, that's all good and well, and you see yourself, you know, you see yourself working there for maybe the rest of your life, even, because this is where you want to stay, you want to make partner one day. All of that is very much possible. Not everyone wants to be their own boss. You know, some people are quite happy and fulfilled working at a firm and becoming partner later on, and, you know, having their children work there and stuff like that. So yeah, that's perfectly fine if that's what you want, you know. But don't ever feel like if you're in a job that you're just not happy, that you're just gonna stay there because, well, you're trying to add up your years, or you're trying to make it look good for a resume. Girl or guy, get up and go. Just leave. Okay? And I know it sounds easy when I say just leave, because people's financial situations are different, and this is where faith comes in. I have a lot of faith, and if you're applying to different places and you're also in the interim doing your own practice, you have other talents, or if it is that you have other skills and other talents, utilize those talents in the interim. You don't have to just sit at home and say, well, not going for me. And a lot of people buy into this notion that, oh, you're a lawyer, certain things are beneath you, you should automatically work as a lawyer. I have colleagues who took a year or even years off before actually jumping into a law firm or working as an associate or whatever it is, or sole practitioner, and they're very much happy traveling or just relaxing, clearing their mind. Because you know what, law school can be pretty damaging mentally. If you're not careful, it can really cause a lot of anxiety and stress, and it goes by so quickly. And you know what, I hope I'm not rambling or going off too much. It's just that I like to share things that would help other people as well, whether it is to learn from a mistake or somebody else's experience. It's just really good when you have people who speak up about certain things that lots of people just don't talk about. You can't really readily get info on it, or people like to gatekeep or whatever it is, and things that I wish I knew. A lot of people, especially on social media, like to pretend that everything is all okay, and it's just good to have somebody give you the reality and just tell you exactly as it is, without trying to make everything seem all perfect, because life is not perfect. Life happens. All right, so the third thing I'm jumping right into is, I wish I knew that I could just go straight into practice after law school. You're legally capable after you have your practicing certificate to just go and set up shop and practice law on your own right away. But what I mean by that is, you don't necessarily need to work at other companies. Of course, it's great to get that experience, but a lot of people looked at me and said, well, you were working as a legal assistant paralegal for 4 years. Why didn't you just go and work on your own? Like, you could have just done your own thing straight out of law school. And I wish I knew that, or maybe rather, I wish I had that confidence at the time to just go ahead and do it, because I was very much capable of doing it. It's just that I just wanted to have that experience as an attorney at law, and nothing is wrong with that too. It's just that it would have been good to just say, you know what, I can do this on my own. Let me just go ahead. But like a colleague reminded me just the other day, nothing in life happens by mistake. You were meant to go through those negative experiences because you learned so much in the process. And that is such good advice and encouragement, because it's true. Even though I didn't have the best experiences after I became an attorney, I learned so much, even if it's what not to do. I learned so much. And that is very important. It has impacted the way I deal with people, and no doubt when I'm ready to take on my very own associate attorney at law, I would know exactly how to treat him or her. And not that I don't know how to talk to people before, but being in the shoes, having that negative experience and some positive ones before, as a legal assistant, I would know how to really motivate somebody and really let them want to do the job, really want to work, and have a good and pleasant experience working with me. So, those things I've really learned, and I never forgot them, regardless of how negative the experiences were. I turned every negative into a positive, learn from it, and impact people positively going forward, whether it is through sharing my stories, my experiences, and just helping somebody else to know that they're not alone. So yeah, especially if it's a case where you are finding it very difficult to get a job, at a law firm, a company, wherever, in-house, just know that you can practice on your own. And it might sound daunting, but just make sure that you're within the regulations, you have done what you need to do at the GLC, and yeah, you just go ahead and go for it. Some people sit and wait forever to be offered a job, and some just don't get it after 2-3 years. There are colleagues of mine who never got a job a year or two after being called to the bar. Not everybody has had that positive experience, where like me, they worked from the summer. Like me, they worked as a legal intern and transitioned at that same company as a legal associate. Not everybody, has that, smooth transition. And just know that if you're going through it now, maybe you're watching this video and you've actually graduated law school, you're called to the bar, but you're just at home and nothing seems to be working your way. Feel free to practice. Do your divorce matters, get your name out there and use social media. Once you're within the regulations, of course you can use it and advertise. So just know the do's and don'ts and go for it. So the fourth thing that I wish I knew before leaving law school is that family matters, especially family matters, can be so emotional. And when I say emotional, I mean there are times when I've left the family court and gone into my car, tears were just flowing, because let me tell you, there are children. I love children especially, and hearing their first-hand experiences at hearings where the judge would sometimes ask for certain people to be excused from the courtroom so the child can speak freely, and hearing their experiences at such a young age of abuse and all of these negative things, it really takes a toll on you. So do not practice family law, especially family law, if you are not emotionally strong, if you're not emotionally capable of taking these things on without crying your eyes out every time you leave court, And of course, I'm not saying that you should become cold and, have no feelings. I'm just saying that, just to take care of your mental health, to make sure that you're capable and ready to take on somebody else's issues as well. Continuing on that note, you will become some sort of like a therapist to many of your clients, and I believe that it's very important to listen to people. These are real people with real issues, unless it is that you're doing commercial law, for instance, where you really have little to no interaction with anyone or the client itself. You're just really drafting documents and, having people sign, basically. It's not so much of an emotional journey for you. I would say if you are not a people person, you don't love people, you don't like interacting with people, you're not empathetic, do not take on family law. Don't do it. Don't take on family law if it is that you don't have that emotional intelligence, because at the end of the day, this is a mother or a father who is about to lose custody of a child, or thinking that this could be a possibility, and it's a very scary time in his or her life. And divorce, these things are very emotional. So it's not just about paperwork. Sometimes, even if it's for 5-10 minutes, just to have a talk with your client, just to check in with them, update them on the matter, and not just keep it as okay, sign here, sign there, but rather to be human. It's very important, and you'll find that you even get more clients that way, because they will quickly recommend you to others. So the last thing I wish I knew before I left law school is, I wish I knew that everyone would be on the leveled playing field, meaning that nobody asks in the interviews whether or not you got first class honors or whatever. They don't care. You're getting the same base salary like all your colleagues coming straight out of law school. Of course, some companies or firms might pay a little bit more, but it's not drastic. It's not like a huge difference. And yeah, so you're fighting for that first class. Of course you should give it your all, do your best. But at the end of the day, they really don't care. They don't ask you how many A's you got, or the specifics. So just do your best in law school and just know that you're gonna be on the same level as all your colleagues. Of course, like I mentioned in my previous video about how I became an attorney at law, I believe that doing additional courses after law school can really impact your salary, or it can make a difference in terms of the increase that you get. So it's a possibility. So that's another way to really try and get an increase as well. But if it is that you're looking to get more because you got first class or whatever, sorry to tell you, it's not gonna happen. So of course, working at these law firms before, I would have seen definitely some things that would have helped me along the way as an attorney at law, and I would have learned so much from senior counsel, very prominent senior counsel. And I'm so grateful for that wonderful experience that I had before I became an attorney. And yeah, so I would have had that benefit of just being in the legal arena and working with prominent attorneys. Of course, if it is that you haven't had that experience, all hope is not lost for you. If it is that you still have time, I would encourage you to get a summer job in a law firm, do internships, just get yourself out into the real world, because trust me, real world and law school are completely different things. I'm telling you, different. So if you can just give yourself that added benefit of that experience, please do it, like right now. Okay, all right, so those are the 5 things I wish I knew before I left law school. If it is that you want to see more videos like this about my law school experience, about practice as an attorney, or whatever it is, comment below, let me know, and be sure to check out my other videos as well. And I look forward to seeing you in another video very, very soon. Remember, I upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday. And as usual, don't forget to stay present and enjoy each moment. We only have one life to live. All right, so I'll see you soon.